right. Like, it's part of socializing them.
Yeah.
But also, my parents really like them, so like if you guys don't take them, I'm still trying to. My mom even, she was like, "Happy birthday! You should have seen the dogs playing the other day. They're so cute together." My mom was like, "You should bring Pippin over and you actually come over because they're so cute together." And she says they were laying on each other's back, like they were both laying on their backs, facing each other, and just kind of like I said, gotta tighten it up.
All right. Welcome everyone to Streaming Screams. I am Glenn. Do you want to step outside and see if you feel it's colder?
No, it's fine.
If you feel it's appropriate to
I am
open
going
the
to
window.
take off this shirt.
Okay. You're wearing 2 shirts.
I wear a tank top because it makes it less like obvious that I don't wear a bra.
Keeps the nips in check.
A little bit, not like completely, but not so they're just like.
Right.
I usually don't care, but like at work and like certain places, I'm like,
this is definitely staying in the cut.
I don't care. And like if I go to my parents, like I mean, not that I think most people know I don't wear a bra, but I just still don't want it just to be like.
Do most people know? I don't feel like that's something. Okay, this might just be me. It's not something I ever think about. Yeah. Or really pay attention to.
Well, when my admirer...
And maybe that's because you're my best friend.
Yeah, when my admirer was still alive, he noticed instantly.
Okay.
He didn't say anything, but he went and was like looking. I think he's by the door.
Oh, okay. Well, careful not to touch the cat. Anyway, yeah, back to Streaming Screams. I am Glenn. I'm here with Jessica.
Hello.
And we have a little guest in here right now. So if you hear a bell, that is my cat, Mr. Brody Lee.
I'll tell you, like my cats, they're obsessed with their room. Like Kage's allowed, like having the cats have an area they're allowed that the dog's not really makes a big deal. It makes a huge difference.
So and you know what? He's actually been hanging out in here with me a lot more while I'm doing editing and stuff. Like I think I told you, he pulled the barber cape out of my bag and has been just laying on it as a bed. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do after this actually is when I go to wash the dog, I'm gonna pick up a new little cat bed for him and I'm gonna put the cape in it so that he has a spot that he can lay here. Yeah. Because I actually don't, as long as he's not fucking with things, I don't mind having him in here. Yeah. I am afraid that I'm going to run over him with this wheelie chair. I've come really close before. That's fine. And I'm a big dude. Like if I roll over his tail, I'm going to break his fucking tail, No,
I know.
So it makes me nervous. And just, I think it would be nice for him to have a little place here. We're still keeping him out of the bedroom. But I think if he has a nice place here, it'll keep him out of trouble. He'll feel comfortable. He'll have another place to get away from the dog because the dog is not going to be allowed in here. Yeah.
My parents, even though the dog and the cats get along, still have like a baby gate into an area because they're like, we just want the cats to have somewhere. If they just don't want to deal with the dog, they can't. And even though they get along just fine, they're like, this is their area. Yeah.
And honestly, like I know the dog doesn't chew on anything so far, but if at some point he decides to take up that habit, this is the last room I want him in. Yeah. It's got all of my musical instruments, many of which are wood. So welcome everyone to Streaming Screams. I am Glenn. I'm here with Jessica.
Hello.
I'm also here with Mr. Brody Lee.
Yep.
We are going to be talking about some horror. And today, aside from the horror of introducing new pets to each other, we are going to be talking about Strange Darling. I have seen this debate as to whether this would qualify as a horror movie.
I mean, it calls itself a thriller in the beginning of the movie, but I've used to be adamant that thrillers are not horror, and now I'm like, no, thriller is just a subgenre of horror.
Yeah, I think you can have a thriller that leaves horror behind mostly.
This doesn't.
No, this movie is very tense.
Yeah.
Released in 2023, written by...
I don't think it was released in... It was released in 2024, but it was made in 2023. So this is a problem with, like, just online in general. That date is either released... when you say a year on IMDb, it's sometimes when it was made and it's sometimes when it was released.
So the release...
It's annoying.
The first release date was September 22nd, 2023 at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. Because, like, do you really consider festivals as being released. I don't, because the general public can't see it. Anyways, whatever. I'm just saying.
I think of a limited release as still a release.
No, because it's not a limited release. It's at an event. A limited release means it went to a couple theaters across the country.
Yeah.
Anyways, sometimes though, there's been movies that were made, say, in like 2018, but they didn't get into the theaters until like 2024. I'm using arbitrary dates.
Right.
And it's like, oh, because they made the movie and they didn't have a distributor. So I'm just saying that year on IMDb or when you Google stuff doesn't always mean when it was released. Anyways, like, just go watch this movie.
Yeah, this one is full of twists and turns.
The whole thing is the reveal and how it's told.
Yeah.
It's not a major plot movie with a lot of plot. It's a movie that's about the destination.
Yeah, and this is one of those movies where you think you know where it's going to go, and like you early on you're like, "Oh, I get it. I know what's going to happen." But then they acknowledge that and turn it on its head again.
Yeah.
And they keep playing with your expectations. And I was thinking about how it kind of reminded me of like a roulette wheel.
Oh yeah.
If you placed a bet on either black or red, the whole time you were just like, "Oh, it's gonna go." Wait, no, that's not where it's going. And the whole thing becomes sort of a thing of like, what exactly is the twist gonna be?
Yeah.
You know that it's gonna land on something, but you don't know what, because it keeps fucking up your expectations.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job of that. And a lot of that is this nonlinear narrative structure. They use it to show off aspects of each character in the position that they're in this point in time, which makes them look like a good guy or a bad guy or something else.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, they're going to swap this around again at the end. But then they swap it around again like a minute later.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? Really cool the way they did that, I think.
Yeah.
Premiered in 2023 and released in 2024. It was written and directed by J.T. Molnar, starring Willa Fitzgerald as the lady, a woman with some strange proclivities who may or may not be exactly what she appears to be. Kyle Gallner as the demon, a man looking for a good time who may have gotten a little bit more than he bargained for, or maybe not. We'll see. Maybe this is exactly what he wanted. Madison Beatty as Gale, a sheriff's deputy. Stephen Michael Quezada as Pete, a sheriff. Sherry Foster Blake as the driver, a Native American woman who doesn't get a lot of screen time but has a pretty big impact on the film. We've got Barbara Hershey and Ed Begley Jr. as Genevieve and Frederick, respectively. They are an eccentric a couple of eccentric doomsday prepper mountain folk. They're an older couple that seems to live happily in solitude, hunts for Sasquatch, and has very questionable eating habits.
Okay.
No, you're dying to talk about that, aren't you?
Well, I'm just like, do they hunt Sasquatch? Or I thought the projection was to be like, Sasquatch, stay away.
Maybe.
Because they were like,
the
when
projection
they
is just like somebody's radio show.
Yeah, I know that, but I thought they were just projecting something to be like,
yeah,
stay away. Because I could, well, like I said, we could get into it later. But I thought when she showed up, they were like, "Did Sasquatch get you?"
Oh, they did.
No, they don't call him Sasquatch. They call him.
They call him Squatch.
Oh, do they just? Okay,
Yeah.
but so that's why I thought the sound was to keep him away.
Maybe.
I don't think they were hunters. I think they were just, they believe in him and they're like, gotta watch out for that Squatch.
Yeah, very possibly. I think the sound is just so that they can like walk around and hear it as they're
but
like.
they weren't outside.
Sure, but you just have it playing all the time,
Yeah.
and then if you decide to go outside, you still hear it. Anyway.
I wanted to make a small side note to the credits.
Sure.
Giovanni Ribisi, who is mainly known as an actor, this is his first film where he's the cinematographer.
Oh, interesting.
It's a guy you most people know not by name, but by, hey, that guy.
Oh, what's he?
If you've ever seen the TV show Sneaky Pete, he was the lead role in that.
I'm guessing Pete, who might be sneaky.
I guess I've never seen it, but
I haven't either.
But see, look, it's this guy.
I don't really recognize him.
A lot of people will. He's just a guy that's in stuff, and this is his first cinematography role, so I thought it would just be interesting to mention.
It's always kind of neat to see an actor get behind the camera, either as a director or something else, and see like what their vision for something is.
Yeah, I think it's really common though, because I think when you think of like, oh, I want to work in the movies, it's like, it's similar to when I was like, I want to work with animals, but I don't want to be a vet. What the fuck else do I do? It's like when you want to be in movies, you're like, well, I have to either be an actor or a director. I mean, and then while you work in the movies, you're often like, no, I actually like this other thing.
You know, honestly, I would love to work in the movies, and this is something that Katie and I have talked about a little bit. I would love to do lighting.
Yeah.
I think that would be so much fun, and I would love to do specifically like a lot of the kind of lighting that we see in this movie.
Yeah, which is inspired by Lost Highway.
Not surprising. I always love how David Lynch did his lighting. I am a big fan of movies that don't necessarily try to make everything like realistic. I love hyper stylized movies. As you know, and as anybody who's ever been in my home knows, I love doing fun things with like colored lights and stuff. And I think it would be a really cool gig to be able to do that. So I have actually talked to Katie a number of times about like, hey, you know, if you're ever in a situation where like you're working on a film and you guys don't have a lighting guy and, you know, like a low budget affair, I would love to just try it, you know, or if you've got somebody that can mentor me through it, it would be so much fun. Anybody out there who needs like a lighting guy who's going to do weird colored lighting, hit me up.
Well, you know how the Rocka Rocka guys got into actual movies?
No idea.
They just started like offering to do positions for free on like real movies. So like a lot of major movies that we know, they're like in the credits because they're like, oh, we just literally message them and we're like, we'll do this for free. And they're like, you're hired.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just did any role they need. Like, so they did like rigging and like all that stuff, which I feel like rigging, you should have like experience. But they were like, yeah, just because you offered to do it for free, they'll find something. A lot of times they'll just find something for you to do. I can't think of examples off the top of my head, but there's like movies I heard they worked on and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's literally just because we heard about a movie coming out, messaged them and said, we will work for free.
I mean, that's not surprising. You know how most like...
That's how you get in the industry.
Yeah, like you know how most people get into wrestling, they go to their local promotion and they're like, I'll help you set up the ring.
Yeah.
And that's their foot in the door. Yeah. They help set up the ring a few times and then they talk to whoever's running the local school.
Yeah. I know in zombie movies, usually almost all the zombies are free actors because, again, they're just like, I just want to be in a zombie. I don't want to be a zombie in a zombie movie. I don't care if you pay me.
I think that'd be fun as shit.
Yeah. Like Walking Dead, it's usually just people volunteering.
Anybody who's doing zombie movies out in the Bay Area, hit us up. We'll come be your zombies.
Sure.
Yeah. Before we get into this, it's kind of an interesting deal. This is a very non-linear movie. It is told in 6 chapters, plus an intro, plus an epilogue. And even within those, they're not always strictly linear within a chapter.
No, never. But it's interesting because the movie starts... Is it with the scroll of like...
It starts with a disclaimer that says the whole thing was shot on 35 millimeter film.
Right. Yeah.
Which I'm curious as to whether that's true.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, and the director has only done one other movie, and it was also on 35.
Why did he feel the need? Do you know why he felt the need to put that on there?
He's just very into like traditional movies and stuff.
That's funny because I would not call this a traditional movie.
No, but he still wanted it to have kind of like a 70s feel, like even though like the opening thing is like a Pinto, but it takes place in modern times, but it's the 1978 Pinto, I think they say later. But like even when it first came on, my husband was like, what? Like they said it because they say the killing spree, which was like 2008 to 2018 or something like that.
2018 to 2020, I think it was.
Well, either way, they
something
say
like
what it is, and then we start on a 70s Pinto with a giant-ass fucking truck. And like my husband was very confused.
Yeah. It is interesting because you can tell there is a lot of influences that are clearly worn on their sleeve here. So after the disclaimer that the whole thing was shot on 35 millimeter film, there is a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre style text crawl with like somebody doing their best John Larroquette impression, reading off the same text, talking about how this is a dramatization of a true story, which I mean it totally is not.
The director won't. He when people ask him out, he says maybe.
which is, I'd be interested in meeting this director because I got the impression just from watching this one movie, he's an interesting dude.
Well, his first movie is a Western, but it doesn't have high ratings.
What's the movie?
It's on my phone.
Because I love Westerns.
I know. It's a Western starring Luke Wilson. It's kind of weird. I only see him as a comedian. It's called Outlaws and Angels. It came out in 2016.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
Oh, and also Clint Eastwood's daughter is in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. Say what you want about Clint Eastwood, but he is a great actor and a great director. So.
I haven't heard much from the director or anything, but it's like, no, he likes the classic, more traditional ways of making movies, but that doesn't mean he's trying to make traditional movies. Yeah, he just likes the style of filmmaking.
Right. I did get a distinctly Quentin Tarantino vibe at a lot of points in this movie, and I think it's probably the same thing.
Well, Quentin Tarantino's constantly just... Has Quentin Tarantino ever had an original movie? Because all his movies are just scenes stolen from other movies.
Ooh, you're going to get that controversy.
It's true, though. Literally, all the major scenes you know from Quentin Tarantino movies are probably from a foreign film that you're not familiar with, but are shot for shot the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs is literally a remake of Hard Boiled.
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey there, we misspoke here, so we wanted to pop in with a quick correction. The film that Quentin Tarantino remade into Reservoir Dogs was not actually Hard Boiled, but rather the 1987 Hong Kong film City on Fire. All right, that's it. Back to it. And I know a lot of the shots that are really famous from Kill Bill came from
Asian cinema.
Yeah.
You know, there's always the question of theft versus
homage.
Yeah.
He definitely rides that line.
No, I don't like Quentin Tarantino as a person, but he's clearly a brilliant filmmaker.
Yes.
Anyways,
so a disclaimer. Yeah, we get the disclaimer. We get the text crawl with the stories, with the thing that says this is a true story.
No, but
or a dramatization of a true story.
Yeah, but I also like how they're like, this is going to be told in 6 chapters, and then it's like chapter 3.
Yeah. Well, so first we get a quick black and white shot. The lady asks the demon if he's a serial killer before we smash cut to him shirtless, strangling someone, presumably her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's when we get the text crawl. Okay, after that.
Yeah.
Then it's like Strange Darling, a film's told in 6 chapters. Chapter 3.
Yeah.
The lady and the demon are engaged in a high-speed chase across a rural stretch of road in the high desert in the Pacific Northwest. He is in a giant
They're
ass...
not in the desert, they're in the mountains.
No, high desert. So like Bend, Oregon, they call it high desert. It's exactly like... It looks exactly like this.
I guess I'm dumb. I didn't know that.
I wouldn't call you dumb. You know when I learned it?
When you went to Oregon?
When I went to Oregon like 2 months ago.
That's weird. It's like the woods.
Yeah, no, it's
I would call it the opposite of a desert.
No, because it is dry as shit. It is very much woodsy, a lot of grass and all of that. But like when you go in there, like when you're there, you can feel it is really dry. There's no fucking humidity whatsoever.
Okay.
So
I didn't think that's what a desert is, but okay.
Yeah. Desert just means dry area.
Okay.
That's why tundras and shit are considered deserts, even though they're all snow, you know?
Okay.
The lady and the demon are engaged in this high-speed chase. He is in a giant truck, all coked up, while she is desperately terrified, trying to escape in this red Pinto. He stops the truck, gets up in the bed, and shoots out her back window, causing her to crash, and before he tries to run her down.
I do have an issue with this scene too.
Okay.
Which comes up twice. But he stops because he's like, I'm not going to catch up with her. Mm-hmm. But he's using a shotgun.
It was a rifle.
No, it wasn't.
I thought the same
because
thing.
Because the way he cocks it.
You cock rifles.
I've shot, not the same way. I've shot rifles. I haven't shot shotguns, but I played a lot of video games.
Hey, look, if House of the Dead taught me one thing, you absolutely need to cock rifles.
No, I know. I do cock rifles, but it looked different. It didn't have like the tube thing. It was a big open, like the barrel looked... Okay, I guess I don't know what type of gun. It looked like a shotgun to me. And I was like, she's way too far away.
To be fair, we are a couple of lame California...
But I've shot guns regularly for a minute.
Yeah, I know. Okay, honestly, I am not an expert on guns. I don't know what fucking gun it was.
The barrel did not look like a rifle. The way he cocked it didn't look like a rifle.
I thought it was a shotgun too, but then he just shot her from so fucking far away.
I know, but
maybe
the barrel's
maybe
wide.
It was a slug.
It isn't like a. I don't know. hey, if there's any people who are obsessed with guns that have listened to this, which I would doubt it based on our other conversation.
I'm going to straight up put in like the social media post for this episode. This is one you should like comment on because we have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
we clearly don't know what we're talking about.
The way it sounds too, I don't know. I think it's a shotgun.
I mean, maybe.
Which didn't make sense. I think it's a shotgun that they're treating like a rifle.
Well, then it might just be a shotgun loaded with slugs because slugs don't spread.
But it's
just like one solid piece of metal.
But it doesn't go as far as a rifle.
Maybe it's a really good shot.
Okay. Well, anyways, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't understand how this worked either. But you know what? Maybe they just couldn't afford a prop rifle and went with a shotgun that they had lying around the house. Although when they show it in his truck, I think it looked like a different gun when they showed it under the seat of his truck. So maybe there was some reason they just had to go with what they just had to make do with something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
At least one person who listens to this is very mad.
Well, you know what? This will be your time to educate some coastal elites on guns. Let us know what we just saw here. Yeah. You know what? The way I said that, it probably sounds really like flippant. I'm actually being serious. I would love to know what was going here. What was that?
It's not about the elites.
Well, yeah, I don't know that I would call us elites. We're just two jerkasses who like talking horror movies.
You're gonna have fun with this one.
Oh, all this shit's staying in.
No, I meant the okay.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm not worried about controversy.
No, I just meant it's very scattered.
Oh no, well, so I'm not gonna have fun with this. Katie's the one who's going to be in charge of continuity and redundancy. So this would be her job.
Thanks, Katie.
Assuming that she starts with this movie. Sure. Yeah, the Streaming Screams podcast is growing. It's still just going to be us hosting, but we're going to have more people involved, which I'm actually really excited about. It's going to feel more professional, hopefully.
Okay.
That I might cut parts out of. Okay, so he shoots out her back window. She flips the car, gets out. He tries to run her down. She escapes on foot and finds a small, homeless person's camp, and she steals their vodka, which she pours on.
And their cigarettes, which is kind of mean. I mean, I understand everything's going on. You're not thinking about this, but that's all that person had.
Yeah.
Those were their prized possessions.
We literally saw everything they owned in that shot, as far as I can tell.
She took the things that brought them comfort.
Yeah. The vodka, I kind of get it. She's missing an ear. She needs to disinfect.
Yeah.
At least she didn't drink the whole thing. But yeah, she did steal the guy's smokes.
She didn't need to take the whole pack. She could have taken one.
She could have taken one.
Rude.
Then she continues on her way. He's hunting her down. She finds her way onto this prepper farmland with speakers playing some kind of Bigfoot-based conspiracy-type broadcast everywhere. She knocks on the door and is greeted with Frederick and Genevieve holding a can of bear spray. Chapter 5. The lady is hiding in a container of some sort. The demon is wandering around the mountain farmhouse with his rifle, repeatedly saying, "Here, kitty, kitty, kitty," before shooting into potential hiding places. As he stalks around the house, we see that Frederick is dead on the floor. The demon notices a bunch of frozen meat lying on the lawn outside of the house and realizes that the lady is probably in a freezer. So he goes and finds the freezer, shoots her in the shoulder. Chapter 1. The demon and the lady pull up to a motel.
I will say, just real quick.
Beautiful shot here.
No, I was going to say, for how quick these first 2 chapters go, I was like, how long is this movie going to be?
Yeah.
I feel like we're just plowing through it right now.
Yeah. And it feels that way when you're watching the movie, too. Yeah. So, the demon and the lady pull into a motel for some sexy times. While still in the car, she is talking about the dangers of being a woman going out for a one-night stand. And this is where we get the context for the serial killer question and the choking at the beginning. Because after talking about the violence that women can face when going through this...
because he's like, I've never considered it. And she's like, of course you haven't.
Yeah.
And then,
But we
are you
see
a serial killer?
Yeah, but we see the scene again.
Yeah.
And now it makes more sense. And then also... we realize that she is directing him in an attempt at some hyper-realistic serial killer fantasy kink play, which seemed like he struggled to get into.
Yeah, he did.
And eventually, though, after he does get fully into character, she gives a safe word and takes a break. This is the first scene where our perception of the demon as the villain really gets called into question, because it seems pretty clear that he's the bad guy until this moment.
Because even in the car, he's like, it's not my thing, but
Yeah,
I'll go for it.
Like, he is like, I'm not into this, but I will give it a try for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a pretty given dude for a one night stand, you know?
Yeah.
And there's still like hints throughout this that he's probably a bad guy, but being shown in such a different context really does this good job of signaling that we likely don't actually know what's going on and that the impressions that we've been given so far might not be correct.
Yeah.
I also actually really like the scene where they are doing the kink play here.
Yeah.
Because it's so awkward and unpleasant.
Yeah.
Until he actually gets into it.
Well, because at first she's like, stop. She's like, maybe I just don't like you.
Yeah.
And then
But then it's also, maybe I like you a lot and I don't need this from you.
Yeah.
But also it's like
this whole movie, or at least the whole like actual beginning chapters. Not the chapters in order, but the actual beginning chapters are hot, cold, like it's Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh God.
This guy
wanted to kill her in this scene.
They got blue ball. This guy gets blue balled like 5 times.
Oh God. She cuts him down so badly. She is like mean to him. And then she's like really nice.
Yeah.
And she just like she is just real hot and cold, like in real rapid succession. And it would be maddening. But also, like, the thing that I liked about this is I'm sure that most people at some point have at least one, probably numerous instances where the sex isn't going the way you thought.
Yeah.
And it is, like, awkward and
because you know you both want to, but it's not, you're just not feeling it.
You're just, like, not making it work.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not connecting.
Right. Or even worse, and which I think happens in this scene, one of you connects while the other doesn't,
and then the other one
then
connects.
It flips.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, well, I guess we're not like really working out here. And then the other one's like, except for the fact that we are.
Yeah,
you're like, what? Yeah, it is a really awkward and unpleasant scene, and it is like really tense in its own right.
Yeah.
It does constantly ask this question, though. Is this awkward and unpleasant because he hates it and feels coerced into it? Or is it awkward and unpleasant because he actually is the person that the movie initially told us he is?
Yeah, because the whole tension is we already know this is a serial killer movie.
Yeah. But now we're now you're starting to doubt whether that's true or whether he's the serial killer.
Or is it someone else?
Or have we even been introduced to them yet? You know, or is it awkward and unpleasant because it's just how things go sometimes?
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing something really kinky with somebody who's new to kink.
Yeah.
You and I both have experience in that area. Now, I am not a chick.
I would never be handcuffed by a stranger.
Well, not only that, but
or let them slap me like a stranger. No.
If I was going to introduce somebody to this world, it would not be anything nearly this intense. It would be like, all right, we're going to do a little bit of, you know, blindfolding and some sensation play,
sure.
You know, maybe some light spanking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask them to pretend to be a serial killer who's going to slit my throat.
I'm not going to be restrained and choked by someone I don't know, where I literally can't get out if things go too far.
Right.
Like, those are things you do with people you trust.
Yeah. And you know what? When she does give the safe word, you know, this is again a moment where our impression of him really changes because he does seem to get into it. She gives the safe word and he immediately is like,
stop.
And he immediately starts unbinding her and is like, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah.
And it really just throws you for a loop. It takes so long to figure out who these characters actually are, even though we spend the whole movie with them.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
There's also a blink and you miss it moment here where she looks at him in like horror and we see the flash of a demon's face, but it's real short, like maybe one frame, maybe like 2. But again, it calls into question what's happening. Like, is she seeing things?
Yeah.
Is she glimpsing his true nature and this is just an artistic signal to us?
Yeah.
You know, is she just feeling uneasy and starting to get afraid because she thinks that she saw him getting ready to go too far? Who knows? This scene was a very intense, very interesting scene. Chapter 4. So we pick up with Frederick and Genevieve as they cook a wild fucking breakfast.
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
It's like a whole stick of butter.
Oh, I wrote
Okay.
I wrote the whole thing.
Because I was like, this is disgusting. It's also the fact that they like pile it on all together.
Yeah, in this really gross fashion.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so here's what they have for breakfast. They start with an entire stick of butter in a frying pan.
And that's not all the butter they're going to be using.
No! So they start with an entire stick of butter in a frying pan. 8 sausages. It's either 6 or 8 eggs, and I think it's more like 8.
Yeah.
Multiple stacks of pancakes made with the sausage fat.
Yeah, because the eggs and the sausage are cooked separately.
Right. But then they make these pancakes using the sausage fat. They basically seem to chop another stick of butter up and pile that onto each plate on top of the stuff they've already put on there. Each plate gets a half can of grape jelly dumped all over it.
It's also like a sandwich. They put like a pancake down, then stuff on top, and then ends with the pancake.
Then after they put all the grape jelly on it, they put a shitload of maple syrup on it. Then a bonkers amount of whipped cream, followed by another damn pancake.
It's also the way he puts on the whipped cream. It isn't just like around it or making a thing. It's just like, it's hard to explain in words, but it's just like...
It's gross.
It's literally like thrown on there where it's like hanging off the plate and everything. And it's like, what is happening?
It's bonkers.
And it's like a pretty long, like pan down scene just looking at the pans and the plate.
And it's fucking revolting. And then coffee.
Of course.
I mean, of course. Yeah.
I don't drink coffee, but still, of course.
So I legitimately thought, when I first watched this, I legitimately thought that this was going to have to be like a murder-suicide last meal thing.
Well,
which I don't think is what they were going for.
No, they mentioned they were having Sunday breakfast, which does make it seem like maybe it's a special thing that they do every Sunday, but still, it's like, this is disgusting.
Look, man.
I think
this
minus
is revolting.
the amount of butter, this like with things piled separately would be good. It's the fact it's all just stacked together.
It's still too much. Look, man. I am an overweight man. I was looking at this and thinking if I tried to eat this meal, I would fucking vomit.
It's just fat and sugar.
It's so much fat, so much sugar, and there's so much of it. And I am not like anti-butter.
No, everyone
way
loves
too
butter.
much
Who
butter.
doesn't love butter?
Way too. Well, some people are like, you can't use that much. And I'm like...
Even I was put off by just the stick of butter.
Right.
I was like, this is way too much butter. And then they put on chunks more. Like thick chunks on top of it, so it's not going to melt all the way.
I really want to talk to JT Molnar and figure out what the fuck was going on with this couple. There's a few things that go on in this movie that I really would love to just grill him on and be like, what the fuck was going on here?
Yeah.
This is very, very high on that list. Like, I do not know why they would eat something like this. It looks gross. It's too much. It's too much.
Thanks for joining us here at the Streaming Screams podcast. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube at Streaming Screams Pod.
You can also find us on TikTok and Blue Sky at Screams Pod.
Every follow, like, thumb, rating, review, subscription, and share all help us out a lot with all the algorithm shit.
So if you like what we're doing, please rate us wherever you get your podcasts, like our posts, all that other good internet bullshit. And again, thank you for listening to
the Streaming Screams podcast.
Anyway, so the lady shows up and tells them her story. Frederick is pretty suspicious, not for the right reasons. He thinks that maybe Sasquatch did this to her.
Which is crazy.
Dude, everybody in this movie is fucking nuts. But yeah, he thinks
mountain folk.
Hey, whoa. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that for sure. I'm not cutting that. But yeah, Frederick is suspicious, thinking that maybe the Sasquatch did this to her, and he has such a weird way of talking about it.
Yeah.
She's like, no, he was chasing me in a pickup truck, and he's like, oh, well, you'd be one dead shit ass if that was Sasquatch doing that. And I'm like, what is your deal with Sasquatch here, man?
Yeah.
Genevieve goes to get the lady some Percocets for the pain, and Frederick tries to call the cops, but the lady stabs him to death.
No, she bashes him with the phone, and then she stabs him to death.
Right. But so the movie has done a really good job up to this point of toying with your expectations, and it's not actually going to stop.
I don't think you don't even see it. She's just telling him not. to call the cops. And then
hear him scream, though.
Yeah, but then it's when she comes back, Genevieve comes back from getting the pills, she enters the kitchen, and they just show his, like, half his face caved in.
Yeah.
And a knife in his gut.
Yeah.
And he's like, Genevieve.
Yeah, it's actually a brutal scene.
It really is.
Yeah. But yeah, so like up to this point, the movie has totally toyed with your expectations, and it's not going to stop after this.
Yeah.
But this is really the point where it becomes undeniably clear that she is neither the heroine nor the damsel in distress that the movie has implied to this point.
Yeah, but I still wasn't super clear what was going on, only because, like, there's lots of reasons people don't want you to call the cops even when, like,
but
fucked up shit happens.
If you're a decent human, you don't stab them to death for it.
No, but you could be a criminal some other way. I don't know. There's just other things where it's like you'll do anything not to get cops involved, because even you could be a victim of something and still be a criminal.
Sure, but you know what? She bashed him over the head with the phone. That should have been enough. She didn't have to stab him.
Yeah.
You can incapacitate somebody.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. The lady is planning to tie up Genevieve, but she escapes as the demon arrives, and the lady then hides in the freezer.
Yep.
Chapter 2. We return to the hotel room just after the lady has seen the demon, that flash of the demon that we mentioned earlier. She busts out some cocaine and convinces the demon to do it with her. She sort of turns away and cuts a line of coke for herself, but cuts a line of ketamine for him.
Yeah, we don't know that at first. It's like she just pulls out another vial.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty obvious she's giving him something else.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because she shows him a baggie of coke and then pours out of a vial.
I'm also kind of confused by this because I've never, I guess, done a lot of ketamine. Just people do it recreationally all the time. I don't think a line would incapacitate you the way this does.
I mean, it's horse tranquilizer.
I know, but you do it all the time. It's very popular right now with Gen Z.
Sure, but like do it in relatively...
I've known people that have done it all night.
I know. We have witnessed this together. But you know what I'm thinking about. Just ketamine all over the fucking dance floor. Just blast a powder in his face.
Yeah, a little spoon.
Except, if you take a little spoon and just flick it at your own fucking face.
But anyways,
this was neither of us doing this, and it wasn't even somebody we were hanging out with. It was at a party or a rave.
Yeah, but it wasn't someone we were hanging out with. It was someone I knew, but anyways.
Yeah, so we have yes, but if you've never done it before, she did cut him a pretty fat line of it. Yeah. Not that I have a huge frame of reference for how fat a line of, any drug is.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't probably need to be in the podcast, but it also annoyed me how she did a line of coke.
What was that?
How she does the line of coke. It's a very thick line, so she snorts in the middle.
This is going to be hilarious when this is the one that our families finally check out.
No, but she doesn't do, she just is in the middle of this fat line, leaves a bunch left, and then there's just and then there's still hella left, and I'm like, that was the most inefficient way to do a line I've ever seen.
Yeah, aren't you an actress? Don't you know how to do coke?
Her acting in this is amazing.
No, her acting is phenomenal. Everybody's acting in this is fantastic.
This is phenomenal.
You've probably guessed, we both really enjoyed this movie, I think.
Yeah, I love it.
I think it was great. She cuts this line of coke for herself, gives ketamine to him before pulling out the knife and the stun gun. Now at this point, she has jerked him around so much during all of the foreplay here that he's had enough, and he's just like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm leaving.
Absolutely. Honestly, I probably would have left before this.
Far before this.
Yeah.
I love banging as much as anybody else, but I would have been so mad by halfway through this. Yeah. I don't think I would have been capable. I would have just been too angry.
Go to sleep. So
Oh shit. I will never forget that.
Dude, she was fucking... you were just screaming at me moments ago.
This is not me. This is not me. This is an incident that happened while we were roommates, and I heard the whole thing from downstairs.
But you also, when we were downstairs, her trying to she was screaming at me, and then in the bathroom trying to get someone to pick her up. Yeah. And then when she realized she couldn't get her ride home, was trying to still have sex with me, and I'm like, hell no.
Oh yeah.
You can't like flip out at me.
No, she was a fucking crazy woman.
I'm not gonna kick her out because she has nowhere to go.
Right. So yeah, we were just gonna wait it out, and then you guys go upstairs, and I'm like, all right, maybe they'll figure it out. And then I hope you're cool with all this being in podcast. Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, hopefully for their sake they figure it out. And then I just hear, go to sleep.
Stop. Like, but right, you can't just fucking scream at, and then because she was acting like nothing happened.
I know. No, she was fucking weird,
and then
man.
She was like, well, I thought you took me home for this. I did, until you flipped out on me.
Oh God, I will never forget that. And I felt so bad because I was laughing so hard down there.
I was fuming.
Oh, I know. And
but she literally flipped out at me.
I know. She legitimately did. But no, I was just like, all right, maybe they'll work it out. And then I hear you screaming, go to sleep. And I'm just like, well, I guess not.
And then even funny because she kept trying to hang out with me. We did a couple times.
I know.
And it's still
I don't know why you hung out with her.
Well, because, sometimes it's like, well, maybe it was just...
Wait, did you ever end up banging her?
No, because I tried to another time and then the same thing. And I'm just like, all right, this person's crazy. And then she was like, you don't really like women. I'm like, no, I like women. I just don't like psychos. I'm like, and I even told it's like, yeah, she went on and on about how I don't actually like women and I just pretend to. And I'm like, no, she kept flipping out. I tried so hard, but she kept flipping out at me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, it got like every time I was like, if I sleep with this person, they're never going to go away.
No, okay. So you know how.
You know what I mean? Though she would have never went away if I
No, look, man. So real talk, you know how I used to just nightly go out for these long walks and, just enjoy the night, particularly in summer. I love walking around town at night, and the midnight in the middle of summer is my favorite time to go for a walk. And I was legitimately getting ready, putting on my shoes when I heard you yell, go to sleep. And I started laughing so hard. I had to like cover my mouth, and I just sat down at the game table, and it just like, I couldn't. At that point, I had to see what happened. I was just like, is she going to fucking kick her out?
No, I don't think anything else happened after that.
Oh, man, this was so funny. You guys, this was so funny. Like, I felt bad for how much I was laughing, but it was the funniest thing that had ever happened in our home at that point.
Yeah.
It is seared into my mind. You bringing a girl home and then yelling at her to go to sleep after she flipped out on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Well, remember, there was a point, like I said, she was in the bathroom with the door closed, but just loudly on the phone trying to get a ride home.
Can you come get me?
And we're both just like, all right.
What is this chick's deal?
Yeah, and then she comes out and it's just like, so... tries to act like nothing happened. I was just like, no, absolutely not. Now... There could have been a recover of that night, but not pretending like nothing happened and being all flirty again. There could have been an apology or we talked about things, but no, it was, I'm just going to pretend nothing happened.
I have never.
And it's like, we could hear you the whole time.
I have never in my life been so enthralled by your sex life. This was so wild. It was like we could legitimately make a movie out of this shit. It was bonkers. Oh, I was dying. I think I laughed. I may have laughed myself to sleep. You don't always want the best for your good friends. Sometimes you just love the train wreck. And boy, that night was a train wreck. Yeah. I also never understood why you hung out with her again after that. I was just like, oh, you're bringing her back to the house again? All right. Good luck. Anyway.
No, the other time I brought her back, you weren't there. You were gone for some reason. And I made her dinner.
I'm pretty sure there was one other night.
There wasn't, but we weren't trying to sleep together. I was just helping her make fairy rings for her festival.
Yeah.
So because there was a minute, I was like, whatever, I'm just not gonna.
Yeah. She did.
And then same thing, chill.
What a fucking problem.
This is also somebody that's like, I'm a lesbian, but I sleep with dudes.
That doesn't make any sense. That makes so much less sense than what you said about you.
She also thinks that gay people shouldn't have the right to get married because it's not a civil issue. Anyway.
She was the worst.
Yeah.
She was the worst.
Who knows where she's at?
Who cares?
I don't even think talks to her anymore.
Oh, I mean, I don't care. Do any of us even talk to anymore?
No, she hits me up sometimes on Facebook, but I don't really engage. Yeah. Anywho.
Where were we? Yeah, okay. She gives him ketamine, knocks him out, pulls out a knife and a stun gun. So with him incapacitated, she tortures him for 10 minutes and carves the initials EL into his chest. Turns out she absolutely is a serial killer that the media has dubbed the Electric Lady.
I hate that name.
Why?
Because why?
Probably has something to do with Electric Ladyland.
What's that?
It's a really classic Jimi Hendrix album.
Oh, I thought Jimi Hendrix, all their albums were like 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was Led Zeppelin.
Oh. But there's a Jimmy in Led Zeppelin, so I'm not right.
Yeah, so Electric Ladyland. So I assume it has something to do with Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
But you know what? Maybe she just keeps carving EL into people, and they were like, "Well, we need something."
Maybe. Also, she uses a taser.
Oh yeah, there's that. Although, how would anybody know that? I mean, we don't know. We didn't see the rest of her spree, so.
Well, if you do, it's a stun gun, not a taser, but it would leave a mark.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so yeah, it does kind of make sense. She then goes through his wallet and realizes that he is a police officer, specifically a sheriff.
Yeah.
As she gets ready to kill him, he has retrieved the gun from his ankle, which we do see earlier in the movie, and shoots her ear off. This is how she lost her ear. She escapes the room and...
No, I like when she escapes the room because...
hold on.
Okay.
We are definitely talking about this.
Well,
no,
so I don't think we're talking about the same thing. The guy from
I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, we are.
Okay.
We are. It's literally my favorite part of the movie, and I have things to say about it.
Okay.
But we're going to get through the scene first.
Okay.
She goes through his wallet, realizes he's a police officer. As she gets ready to kill him, he retrieves the gun from her ankle, shoots her ear off. She escapes, having an encounter that we're going to discuss in 1 second, and then runs to the front office where she steals a nurse's scrubs and the 78 Pinto that the nurse was driving, and kills the woman working the desk.
Because she was going to call the police.
Right, and I've got more to say at that, like in the end. At this point, though, when she escapes, the demon is shooting at her. She's like on the balcony, and this other guy, this fucking roughneck dude, comes out from the motel room next to them.
Yep.
He's got his cowboy hat, and he's looking all grizzled, and he goes, "What the fuck?" And she goes, "He's got a gun," and he pulls out a gun and goes, "Well, so do I." But here's the thing. Like every mythical good guy with a gun in America, he does nothing.
Well, we don't know.
We do know. We watch him walk back into the room and he closes the door and that's it.
Oh, I assumed he went next door and then I'm like, what exchange happened?
Nothing happened. He went in. Dude, there is so much in this movie about America.
Yeah.
And I think that this was a very deliberate thing. This guy comes out in his cowboy hat, talks real tough, and does fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And like while there is an active incident going on directly in front of his face, like she jumps off the balcony. Does he like hop over the rail and go over into the other room? He doesn't.
I don't know why I assumed he was just going to go through the front.
Yeah, but we never see him again.
No, we don't.
Literally never see him again. To me, this was very much... Like, I could be wrong, but this is one of those things that when I was saying I would love to ask JT Molnar about what the deal was with this.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't understand it. It's because I think I know exactly what it was, and I want to know if I'm right. But I think this was a statement about the whole good guy with a gun thing.
Maybe.
And the whole, like, American obsession with, like, having guns, but then they never do anything good with them while they have them. You know, you never hear about a good guy with a gun stopping the bad guy with a gun.
That's not true.
It's
rare,
very
but
rare.
You know, it's happened. It's rare.
But like, I think the last time I heard about it actually happening was like 15 years ago. Like, it's not like a thing that happens all that often.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always all this talk about like, we'll stop a tyrannical government. Nobody ain't doing shit right now. You know. And then you've got shit like Uvalde, and then you have all these other mass shootings in America, and you're gonna tell me that in none of these crowds was a single person with a concealed carry? Fucking come on. He's so fucking cute. The cat.
That means that means he's relaxed.
Good. He has been relaxing a lot in here with me lately, and like I said, I'm going to get him a cat bed, so that he has a space where he can be, where I can definitely not run over him with the office chair, and he can feel comfortable. But yeah, no, I think that there's a lot in this movie that I think critiques American culture, and I think this was a big one. It's also hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
This is an extremely tense movie from start to finish. It is, and I don't think that we've made clear how often it is actually a really funny movie too.
It was quirky.
Yeah. It's a little wacky. But yeah, no, we never see this guy again. Nope. It's really funny. Just flashes a piece, talks all tough, and walks away.
Yeah.
What a dickhead. Chapter 6. The demon handcuffs her to the freezer chest and calls some other cops from the sheriff's department. Before they arrive, he approaches her and the lady sprays him with Genevieve's bear spray and then bites a chunk of his neck off, which causes him to bleed to death.
Yep.
She got the artery. She then steals his pistol, pulls down her pants, and tries to make it look like he had brought her to the house to rape and murder her. So this is where Pete and Gale show up, Sheriff Pete and Deputy Gale. Pete does not buy this, and he wants to
because he knows who we call the devil. Like he knows him.
Right. He knows the demon, and he does not buy it, and he wants to call out homicide and medical to investigate. But Gale is immediately on the lady's side here, makes the obvious assumption for somebody who doesn't know the demon.
And he's straight, like, we don't even know if she's the victim.
And he's right.
Yep.
But Gale convinces him, and it's interesting because both of them use protocol to justify this.
Yeah. Well, she's
to
also
justify
like,
their positions.
you're just doing this because I have a vagina. And he's like, it has nothing to do with your vagina. It has to do with that you were in diapers when I was solving my first case.
Yeah. Eventually, Gale convinces him that the lady needs immediate medical attention.
Well, she fakes a seizure.
Right. As the officers take her in the car, they come across Genevieve on the side of the road who flags them down. But before she can tell them what happened, the lady shoots her.
Yeah.
Directly in the head.
It was like as soon as she looked in the back, she was explaining and then saw her and looked at her and then she shoots her.
Yep. She takes their guns and orders Gale out of the car. Then we get to the epilogue. See, you can't even, this movie is so fucking wild in how it fucks with your expectations. It tells you straight up at the beginning, there's 6 chapters, and then it hits you with a 7th chapter.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. After driving her away, with Gale having escaped, Pete asks her why she kills, and she says that sometimes she doesn't see humans, just devils. At which point she kills Pete and then stumbles down the road until she is picked up by the driver.
Yeah.
The driver is taking her away when she sees the flash of the devil's face in the mirror and starts to pull out her gun. But the driver is too quick and shoots the lady. Ow. Should we let him out?
I was swinging my foot, but he still moved.
Was that aggressive or was it playful?
No, it was aggressive. But he did move, and I was swinging my foot, so I think he thought I was trying to kick him.
Oh, okay. Mr. Brody Lee, you got to calm down, man. But yeah, so she sees the flag. All that's going to stay in. So the driver shoots her. The screen fades to black and white as the lady dies from that wound.
Or we assume so.
It's pretty clear.
People pass out all the time and don't die.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's why I went to black and white. Yeah, fucking wild movie. Yeah. Absolutely wild movie. The reason I want to keep the driver in, I noticed there is a huge racial component to this movie.
Like she's the only person that's not white in the movie.
That's not true. Pete is not white. Pete is Latino. The sheriff.
Is he?
Yeah, the nurse earlier who's like, I don't want to get involved. She doesn't trust the lady either.
Yeah.
The only people who immediately trust the lady are other white women.
Sure.
Everyone else is suspicious of her. So I noticed that she starts pulling out that gun. The driver, who is a Native American woman, had her gun ready. Yeah. To defend herself. There's so much going on in this movie that is very clearly about America. The entire color palette of this movie, like other than the green from nature, the whole thing is basically red, white, and blue. Yeah,
he doesn't comment on the white, but he said he wanted the movie to be red and blue. Specifically because he wanted a color palette because of David Lost Highway in particular, which is also what I think the breakfast stuff actually probably just stems for, is that all David Lynch movies has weird little things, just quirky things in them. But it's actually funny. I don't remember who it was, but somebody so when he originally did this, she was wearing teal scrubs in the opening shot. And the person's like, why is she wearing teal? And he's like, I just thought it looked cool. And she's like, but I thought you said you wanted a red and blue theme. She's like, that's the problem with directors. They never stick to their guns. And so he changed it.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah. But no. So the color palette is red, white, and blue. And they are not subtle about it whatsoever. So red, of course, is associated with the devil and the demon. The lady.
The red is supposed to be chaos.
which makes sense. That Pinto is red. The scrubs that she's wearing are red. She's wearing a red wig throughout a lot of the movie.
She has red panties. And
she has red panties.
He has a red jacket.
He has a red jacket, but, blue, of course, is associated with the police. So we tend to see, like, when they go to the hotel, which is about the only time that he's really, like, in control of anything, the light is all blue. We do see, like, the bed that he's in the hotel is, the sheets are mostly blue. The walls are blue.
The whole room's red because of the lighting.
Sorry. No, the bathroom is red when she's in it. Yeah, because of lighting.
No, the whole room's always like has a redness to it because they have those lights on.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, the bedding is definitely blue.
All I know is only seen him comment on the red, and he says it's supposed to just be expressing the chaos.
Yeah, which I can see. And, red is a very chaotic color, and blue is a very serene color. But, like I said, blue also goes with the police. Now, at the Mountain House, I noticed that through the entire introduction there, the walls are all white. It's really brightly lit outside. So like all of the light coming in through the windows looks really white, and their clothing is all white and everything is really white until the lady shows up, where they all walk into a red room. Like there's just tons of this shit. The other obvious thing here is those three colors are America.
Sure.
America.
Yeah, people say that. I always think it's weird that red, white, and blue is considered American, just because the British flag is that color. The Australian flags, those colors. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a French flag's those colors. It's not unique to America.
No, it's absolutely not. And that is such like,
I think it's the most common colors on any like country's flag.
Yes, which is, and it's bonkers because
we do
America,
have the songs like red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue.
Right,
we're
and
a country.
It is such an American mentality to be like, well, America, red, white, and blue means America, and we're like, well, I mean, it means most flags.
Yeah,
like a lot of countries are red, white, and blue, and like honestly, we stole the colors from the fucking British.
Well, we didn't steal it because we were British. I'm like, but we rearranged.
Yeah, I mean, we rearranged it, but like, and like they say that these colors all symbolize this thing.
Yeah. Don't
fucking bullshit yourselves. We just took the British flag and redesigned it. Yeah. Which is fine. But like, yeah, being like, these colors don't run. Okay, well, most of the world doesn't run, I guess. What do you want?
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, I'm fairly certain it is meant to be a pretty heavy critique on America.
Yeah.
The film plays a lot also with gender dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, that's a major point of this movie.
Yeah. It's
she's only able to do what she's able to do because people just assume woman hurt victim.
Right. But I mean, more than that, though, we have constant examples of people behaving in ways that we find like really typically toxic, but then they still also kind of often get turned on their heads, which just further contributes to the whole roulette wheel feel of like who's going to turn out to be the bad guy. When the demon finally like catches her, he calls her a cunt. When it becomes apparent to the sheriff and the deputy that she is not the good guy, the sheriff's first response is to call his deputy a dumb bitch. Obviously, this is used to show off like a lack of respect for women. You also have the lady literally committing a false rape accusation, and it's pretty easy thinking about some of these things to think that there's like a real incel mentality going here. But also the demon is like a bad cop.
Yeah.
He's got a history of drug use. He's going through a divorce. And I think for anybody who knows the whole 40% statistic, that can be a hint to something. Well, he's either he says he's going through a divorce, but he might just be cheating on his wife.
Maybe.
He also sees fit to, instead of calling for backup when things have gone initially bad and just accepting the fact that he's in trouble, he chooses to fucking hunt her down, Terminator style, right?
No, when he calls, she's already chained up.
Right, but he could have called from the hotel room.
Oh,
he
sure.
Doesn't. He instead gets in his truck and hunts her down. And if he had taken the correct approach instead of trying to shoot her down on the road, Genevieve and Frederick probably would have been Sasquatching till they died of old age. But
yeah,
he gets them killed.
Yeah.
But then she turns out to be the serial killer who's in control of the whole situation. It's just this constant like back and forth with the worst accusations that each gender faces actually happening or otherwise appearing in the story. She's also just constantly, as we talked about earlier, she was just constantly toying with him and cutting him down. I would have bailed on that encounter. as we mentioned.
Yeah,
You know, just like, what a jerk. But he is also so focused on getting laid that he ignores a startling amount of red flags.
Yeah.
And ignores the fact that she's just a completely unlikable dickhead.
In the car, they seem to have really good chemistry.
Yes, and there is a point where, you know, where he's got her chained up, and she is even like, you know, for a moment there, I think I did feel genuine love for you.
Yeah.
I did think it was really funny. There's a moment where in the hotel they hear the song "Love Hurts" on the radio, or maybe it was in the car.
No, it was in the hotel.
And then it pops up again in the mountain house, and you know, while she's all chained up,
and she sings it. It doesn't pop up.
That's right. She does sing it.
Yeah,
she's
like, you'll remember this song, or you'll remember me every time you hear this song.
And he's like, maybe. And then she's like, definitely. And then blasts him with the bear spray.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this woman, what is her deal?
But technically she was wrong, because he'll never hear it again, because he dies.
But he was thinking of her the last time he heard it. He was looking directly at her asshole face. And then the last note I had here is just about how like people of color don't immediately trust her, but white women immediately side with her. This movie is fucking crazy.
I don't really feel like the person working at the counter did. She just was like... Oh,
she did. The nurse was like, I don't want to get involved. And the lady, because the lady who was working the counter was like, call the police. Nurse is like, I don't want to get involved. And she's like, you already are. Yeah. And then she gets stabbed for her troubles.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she trusted her.
No, but she was immediately going to help.
Well, yeah.
And basically, like in a very short amount of time, basically browbeat somebody who didn't want to help into helping.
Yeah.
And it got her killed.
So interesting about this, which I don't think it would have worked. The studio originally went behind the director's back and made their own cut in chronological order.
Why?
And it was only like 70 minutes long. But luckily, the director had a clause in his contract that no matter what, he could demand that a director's cut has a, what do they call it? A screening? Mm-hmm. And the screening went super well, so they stuck with the director's cut.
Why would they have done this in chronological order? It would not have worked.
It would have been fine, but it wouldn't have had the impact that it does.
It would have been a perfectly cromulent summer action flick. It would not have been like this masterpiece.
Because it wouldn't have the
deception.
tension.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. You would have known exactly what was going on right from the jump, and the whole point was to like keep you guessing, and it keeps you guessing till really far in the movie. And even then, you're not sure how the things are going to play out. When you finally realize who the bad guy is, you've still got plenty of twists and turns coming. Yeah, really good movie.
It is.
Who would you recommend it for?
Yeah, anybody. It's really good. Check it out.
Yeah. I don't think I would recommend it for anybody. I would say if you
this movie was I feel like this movie didn't get a lot of recognition when it came out, and when it did in my horror groups, people either loved it or hated it.
Yeah.
It has a 7 point on IMDb, which is crazy.
Isn't that just like barely above average?
Horror movies, or like even great horror movies, usually are barely 6.
That's true.
Horror movies don't get the same ratings normal movies do.
I would not recommend it for anybody who is like really averse to intense sexual play.
There's no nudity.
I mean, there's no banging.
There's no nudity.
But he is like, choking her and slapping her while she's chained up to the bed. Yeah. But, some people will be really bothered by that.
I guess, yeah.
I probably would not recommend it to people who like need everything clear cut and spelled out for them, because it takes a real long time to find out what's actually happening.
Yeah. But you just got to finish watching the movie.
Yeah. Other than that, I would definitely say if you're like if you enjoy a movie with a lot of twists and turns, this is definitely a good one for you. If the idea of a David Lynch movie where eventually you actually do understand what happened appeals to you, this is going to be the one for you. It's real. It very much has that. If you like David Lynch and you like Quentin Tarantino but you want to know what actually happens in a movie, this is it.
Sure.
Now, if you want to watch Strange Darling, you can do so with a subscription to either Fubo or Paramount Plus. You can also rent it from Amazon, Apple, Fandango at Home, or Plex. I think that about does it. Mr. Brody Lee, do you have anything to add? He does not. Seems very indifferent. I don't know if he watched the movie.
Probably not.
He's a bad guest. Jessica, play us out.
This room is so hot. This room is so hot. I'm gonna die because this room is so hot.
There's a part of me that almost like stripped down naked halfway through this because I'm just like